your book, it just says, write your book tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
and then tomorrow turns into another day and a week and a year, and then you just never do it.
So 7 years ago, I could have replaced that window pane. And it ended up costing me $5.
Yeah.
$4 for glass, and then another $3 for silicone. Silicon Valley. But it's silicone.
Silicone, yeah.
But I didn't, and I just said, I'll fix it next time.
Yeah.
Or I'll deal with this some other time.
Uh-huh.
And that's procrastination.
Yeah.
And so that just builds up over time, and it's like I've lived with it wasn't until I broke another pane of glass in the past year that I was finally like, okay, it's up to 2 now.
Yeah.
I should probably fix them both.
Uh-huh.
And other people would just be like, we should get all new windows. These two are broken.
Let's just buy a new house.
So, but yeah, procrastination is, we joke about it, but that's what causes people to wait until January to get started with stuff.
Yeah.
That's what causes, here's your favorite, that's what causes people to wait until November to start writing their novel. Because there's a whole month for it.
Yeah.
So I'll just wait until then to get started.
Yeah.
That's why the best time to buy fitness equipment is in March.
Yep.
Because it's on sale, because everybody's already bought their stuff and they're reselling it now.
Lightly used.
Used 3 times, and then I'll wait till next January.
And get more, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, man.
The other version of procrastination, and this is the one I deal with, is distraction.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the resistance manifests itself mostly with me with being distracted by stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been dealing with this past month, and that's why I wanted to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
Coming home from Deeper Weekend back in the end of October, I had this like reconnecting with my business. That I was like, oh, I'm tired of running away from it, and I'm ready to focus on it. And I've faced nothing but distractions. And I've given in to them mostly.
Yeah.
But so like I woke up one morning this month, and I was like, you know what I really need to do to feel like I've arrived? I need to build a business from scratch and sell it. And I'm like, how much of a distraction is that I'm struggling with having my existing business that's been around for 4 years and has its flaws.
Yeah.
But I'm so much more willing to start something new because the new is more exciting to me.
The innovation is better than the maintenance.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing. I mean, it's not the whole thing. I think there is a need for ActDev, the other company that I'm trying to build. But that's kind of where it started, is I didn't want to deal with the problems at the Green Abacus, and I'm shifting away from it. So yeah, shiny object syndrome, binge watching series on Netflix, tons of stuff that can just jump in and distract me from the work that I need to do. So.
Yeah, I noticed when I was doing the National November writing thing, it would never fail. Be like, I can write, the house is nice and quiet, or I can play Hearthstone. Hearthstone won. Most of the time it won.
Yeah.
Because it was a distraction, and it was very, there's ranks in the game, so I could feel like I'm doing something.
I'm number 10 million in the world.
Yeah.
I'm moving up.
Yeah. It's like, yes, I'm getting somewhere.
On something that doesn't matter.
Yeah. This isn't making me money at all. It's not creative to me. I mean, for me to do.
I've finally finished binge watching every series on Netflix. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Yeah.
So he talks about a couple other characteristics of resistance.
Okay.
He says that resistance is internal. It's the voice in our head that's the loudest for the resistance. It's not other people saying, oh, you can't do it.
Oh, yeah.
It's always self-doubt. It's always, I don't know if I'm up for this. I don't know if I'm the right person for this job.
Yeah.
He talks about how the resistance is universal, and it's also not personal. So the resistance doesn't really care if you succeed or not,
No.
because it's not out to get you.
It's just what it does.
It's out to get everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody deals with it. So we like to think I'm the only one who has trouble every time I sit down to write.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only one who gets writer's block, but the truth is everyone gets it.
Yeah.
The difference between me and someone like Stephen Pressfield, who even has a chapter in here about having it with this book, is he fought through the resistance and actually produced something. So anybody who's ever done anything, successful podcasts, successful TV shows, successful speakers, they've all felt no, just sit down, shut up, let somebody else do it.
Yeah.
But the difference is that they didn't listen to that in the end. They did it.
Yeah.
The difference between someone who is able to retire and someone who isn't that the person who was able to retire had more money all along the way. It's that they fought through it and committed to saving even when it was hard.
Yeah. Yeah. He talks about restlessness too. I'm trying to find it.
The chapter on happiness?
Yes.
Can I read that whole chapter?
Sure, yeah.
Because I like that one.
Okay.
I underlined a lot in it.
Yeah, I know. I saw. Made it easy for me to think about what you were going to talk about.
So what does resistance feel like? First, unhappiness. We feel like hell. A low-grade misery pervades everything. We're bored, we're restless, we can't get no satisfaction. There's guilt, but we can't put our finger on the source. We want to go back to bed, we want to get up and party. We feel unloved and unlovable. We're disgusted, we hate our lives, we hate ourselves. Unalleviated, resistance mounts to a pitch that becomes unendurable. At this point, vices kick in: dope, adultery, web surfing. Beyond that, resistance becomes clinical: depression, aggression, dysfunction, then actual crime and physical self-destruction. Sounds like life, I know. It isn't, it's resistance. What makes it tricky is that we live in a consumer culture that's acutely aware of this unhappiness and has massed all of its profit-seeking artillery to exploit it by selling us a product, a drug, a distraction. John Lennon once wrote, "Well, you think you're so clever and classless and free, but you're all effing peasants as far as I can see." As artists and professionals, it is our obligation to enact our own internal revolution, a private insurrection to get inside our own skulls. In this uprising, we free ourselves from the tyranny of consumer culture. We overthrow the programming of advertising, movies, video games, magazines, TV, and MTV, by which we have been hypnotized from the cradle. We unplug ourselves from the grid by recognizing that we will never cure our restlessness by contributing our disposable income to the bottom line of BS Inc., but only by doing our work.
Yeah. You've talked about how you've been restless before, and it was because you're bored. Yeah.
Yeah, being unhappy is one of the biggest motivators to change. Because what is change? Change is a promise of something better.
Yeah.
And if I'm fine, I don't really need a promise of something better. Life is good.
Yeah.
I don't really need life is great. Now, if life is miserable, all I want is life is great.
Yeah.
But this book tells us that there are millions of people making millions of dollars on self-medicating us from life is miserable. So I might as well watch Netflix.
Yeah.
Because this is what life is. And there's no chance life will ever be great.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and upgrade my life to life is tolerable. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to eat food when I know I should be training. I'm going to watch something when I know I should be filming something.
Yeah.
I'm going to read other people's books and criticize other people.
Right.
Instead of writing my own book and putting it out there. So don't be afraid of unhappiness. Unhappiness can be the best indication of what you should be doing.
Yeah.
But be afraid of when that unhappiness is something you're just fine living with. I like Gary Vaynerchuk had a video that my friend Brian shared with me back in the spring where Gary V is a social media guy, talks about changing your life. A lot of the stuff I agree with, and a lot of it's hard to hear too, because he's very
he's very Paris Geller.
Yeah, exactly. Very certain about the direction forward. He had a video that said, if you're happy, the stuff I say isn't for you. And this was a good video for me, because I feel like at the time I felt like I'm pretty happy, but I feel like I'm not Gary V level of happy.
Yeah.
I haven't attained what Gary Vaynerchuk wants me to attain with my life yet.
Yeah.
But he was saying, if you're happy, my stuff isn't for you. My stuff is for the complainers. My stuff is for the people who wake up every day, complain about their job, and then do nothing about it. Those are the people who need a kick in the butt. If you're satisfied, if you like the way that you are, I don't care if you watch effing Lost, is what he said at the time. I don't care if you watch Lost. That's on you. You're happy with your life. You do what you want with it. But if you're going to complain, do something about it and turn off the TV and go do something. And that's what we need to be afraid of, is when we're unhappy and we're just sitting there. Hadoken!